Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Krashy, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about Overwatch 2, the kind of like developer PvP live stream that happened like, I don't know, 2-3 days ago, something like that. And yeah, giving my thoughts on it, giving my thoughts on the future of Overwatch, and then even giving just a little bit of context on why I'm talking about Overwatch today. So, if you guys don't know, there will be a video like in the top right corner of the card to kind of give you guys an update on like me on my second channel. If you guys aren't subbed to that, feel free to do so. It's a little bit more personal, like I'll just hop on there and talk about stuff. But yeah, Overwatch 2, they did a developer PvP live stream kind of just talking about the future of the game, and it's interesting because Overwatch 2, like there's still no release date, but they've been working on it for like, I don't know, a long time. It feels like a year or more, 2 years, something like that. And you know, my backup channel, or my second channel, which is like the Krashy 2 channel, I actually used to like main Overwatch. I did a lot of like group videos, but it was mostly me. But I started that channel as like a group video channel, like a project, and then just kind of turned into like just playing Overwatch and doing a bunch of stuff on that channel. And I always really liked the game, but there was something about the game that just like, after like a long time of playing, it made it really hard to keep playing it. It feels like, for me, one thing that I always kind of felt like, I felt like the release schedule of Overwatch was, like the hero release schedule specifically, is like way too long, and I don't know that they're going to be changing that at all, but I kind of hope they do. I would love to see them actually like put out more heroes, but that's not, that, you know, that's besides the point. I want to talk a little bit about Overwatch 2 and what we do know. So first and foremost, if you guys aren't familiar with the game or the game modes at all, like in Overwatch 1, there's essentially a game mode called 2CP, and 2CP is a terrible game mode. It's awful. It has the potential to be super stally or super like snowbally, and from my understanding, it seems like 2CP is gone and they're going to be adding in a new game mode called Push. Now Push is cool. Push looks like a really arcadey game mode, but it also looks like really competitive at the same time. Like you can just kind of like fight around the moving like robot objective control point thing. It's like a mix between control point and payload, which is like literally how they explained it, but you can fight around that without feeling like you're constricted to like one side of the map. Like your whole team could like full flank and go around. Like you're not going to lose that much value. It just looks like a lot of fighting, and that looks like really fun. But aside from that, the main change coming to Overwatch 2, that as far as I can tell, is that they're going to be moving the game from a 6v6 like 2-2-2 type game where it was like 2 tanks, 2 healers, 2 damage or DPS, to a 5v5 game. Now this is a massive change. It's the implications are insane, and I gotta say, as someone that's been out of Overwatch mostly for a really long time, coming back in, this change is really exciting to me. But it's crazy for me to see that, you know, across the board, it seems like the majority of Overwatch players are not excited about this. I think that it's a bit of a culture shock, right? Like it's something that everybody has to get used to. I think that it'll be better for the game, and I'm going to talk about that here in a second. But I understand why. If you've been playing the game, if you already liked the game, then the change can be a bit abrasive, especially if you're like a tank player, because they're actually cutting it down from 2-2-2 to 1-2-2, where it's only going to be one main tank per team, and there's only going to be one tank. So if you're like an off-tank player, or even if you're just a tank player in general, like your whole role, your whole reason for playing the game is, I don't want to say gone, but it's definitely different. It definitely shifted. And you know, that's a big thing. So let's talk about the implications of 5v5. First and foremost, I think like one of the obvious things that they're trying to do is like increase queue times, right? Like less people, you know, people you need for a game, the better the queue times are. Now that's a really simplistic way of thinking about it, but they're also trying to improve the popularity and the fun of the tank role. It's kind of like no secret, especially even for me, like the tank role is just kind of boring. One word I've heard a lot when listening to Overwatch players, Overwatch content creators, streamers, the word that they use when they talk about tanking is like, you get bullied. And I feel that so much. Like sometimes when you're playing tank, there's just so much going on that you're literally getting bullied. And yeah, I kind of feel that. It literally feels like you're like just getting shoved around, you're getting knocked up, like you're getting pushed and CC'd and beat up, and you're just hoping that your healer can keep you up while trying to keep up your DPS. And yeah, it's just like not the most fun thing in the world, I think. So I don't know, pretty interesting to think about the change. But in regards to the change, they're actually just making the the game or like the game for the tanks like much more fun. They are, you know, giving Reinhardt more ability to turn when he charges and the ability to cancel his charge. They're giving Reinhardt 2 fire strikes. Zarya's gonna have multiple bubbles per, you know, multiple shields for her team and for herself. Diva's gonna get more matrix. Winston's getting a long range attack. I don't know what they're doing to Roadhog. They're probably gonna give him like a layer of armor, or his self heal will make him tankier, reduce damage for, you know, 5-10 seconds or something. Like they're making the Brawler, like the bruiser kind of fighter tanks, tankier, and they're making the like tankier tanks like have more control and have the ability to, you know, do like more fighting, right? Like so tanking is effectively like you are the main tank and the bruiser at the same time, while every other role is going to stay the same. So this changes a lot of things. It's hard to say exactly what all is changing, not to mention the fact that like we've already seen like Mei's gun isn't going to entirely freeze anymore. I heard from a video, I can't even cite it because I don't remember where I heard it, but I saw in a video that like from like an AMA or something that Bastion is getting completely reworked. So there's going to be a lot of changes for Overwatch 2. And the cool thing is if you already have Overwatch 1, you don't technically have to buy the game, because it's like, it really is basically like an expansion or like an update. But if you're not into the game, then, you know, you could buy it and it'll have like all the PvE content as well. So while I'm mostly focusing on the PvP content because that's what interests me, there is going to be a whole bunch of like missions and PvE content and stuff. I don't really care about that. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't care about that, but if that's something that you're interested in and you're not already into Overwatch, then you can totally dive into that. I'm probably going to buy Overwatch 2 anyways because I want like the updated graphics and I just like want to fully experience the game if I'm going to play it. But yeah, it's cool stuff, man. It's really cool. So all in all, I think that I've mostly covered like what's in my head. Oh, they do have the role passives too, which is like super interesting. I almost feel like maybe they could have done more here. Maybe they don't need to. I don't know. It's kind of impossible to predict how it's gonna feel because I just haven't played the game. But the role passives are pretty interesting. Like healers now will like self-regen health, which I think is probably just insane. Tanks are going to give less ult charge when they're hit, and they're like less susceptible to knockbacks, which like grounds them to the ground more, makes them actually tanky. And DPS are gonna like move faster. Like they're literally gonna like run faster, which I think is really, really cool. Like it makes a lot of sense to me that like you're trying to make the roles have this like niche thing to them. A really good example that they used for like Ana is like if Ana's just low health, are you just like forced to use your nade on yourself and not have that resource for your team? So the fact that she can kind of like sit out of combat for a second and you know, like heal herself back up is really, really nice. So I don't know, Overwatch 2 is looking really, really good. I've been jumping back into Overwatch like on my own time, just like trying to get back into the game. I've been losing a little bit. Like when I first started playing, I was losing a lot, and then now I'm just like winning like I don't know, like 90% of my games. It feels like I'm kind of like getting back in form. I'm queuing for the DPS role and just like trying to learn some of the new heroes and also just get like a little bit more familiar with like the current state of the meta, at least at my rank, because metas kind of evolve and change depending on how good people are. But it's been really, really fun. So that's what I'm looking forward to for the future. If you guys have any questions, definitely drop it down in the comment section down below. I am going to be mostly focusing on Overwatch and or just my real life. If you guys want to watch that update video, like I said on my second channel, definitely take a look at it and see kind of like what's going on with me. So thank you guys so much for checking out this video. I hope that you'll, you know, some of y'all will join me on this interesting new journey thing that I'm doing. So yeah, let's see what it's all about. So as always, be sure to be kind to someone, or as always, be sure to be kind to one another, not just someone, but tell someone that you love them, and I'll see you on the next video.